And I want you to think about the fact that retirement is not an outside job, it's an inside job. This is a time of life, 55, 65, whatever it might be for you, where you start working on yourself. You start working on your body, your mind, and your soul. So that's a different way to look at it versus continuing to spend time in your career.
And I think the other point there would be, the earlier you reset your mindset, the longer the rewards will be for you. So, if you are retiring at 65, you could have 30 years ahead of us for those mindset rewards where you've changed that mindset. You've closed the gap between, what you're doing and what you're thinking.
Right. So here's number one. Retiring at 75 is not a goal. It's really a dangerous delay. And I say that because if you're following us and if you happen to watch our webinar this week where we unveiled our new framework that talks about the discovery years, which is age 55 to 75. We don't call it retirement anymore. If you skip through that stage and then all of a sudden you're 75 and you're now what we call the wisdom years, you've missed out on so much opportunity to grow as a person and to really find out some things that you could do that you really love to do.
Yeah, the second thing I would say is stop believing that later is smarter. Society has really pushed the idea of retirement out, and maybe that works for you, and maybe it works for you for a couple more years or 3 more years, and then you ease out of your job and then you fall into a consulting role or something along those lines. But more work years doesn't necessarily correlate into more meaningful years.
Yeah, when I think of Harry, the attorney, I think, again, I really, now that his name came to mind, I'm actually going to call him today or tomorrow to see how he's doing.
That's a good idea.
But Harry didn't have anything outside of work. He didn't golf. He didn't pickleball. The only thing he read was legal briefs, which he said he loved.
Well, there are other things besides golf and pickleball.
Well, there
too.
are, but there's.
Did he garden?
No, he didn't do anything. That's the thing. And if you are that type of person, that's what we say about your discovery years. This is when you actually discover that you listen to that little voice inside of you that always said, maybe I'd like to garden. Maybe I'd like to. I always go back to gardening or pickleball or golf, but there's painting, mentoring, teaching. He could be such a great mentor to young attorneys going through law school.
Right.
To teach them and quote them. But he, I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, the other thing you want to do is the third thing we want to talk about is understand this concept of retirement drift. Now, we talk about I think there's 6 or 7 risks of retirement: loss of identity, loss of community, not knowing what to do with your 40 plus hours of free time that come your way.
Your physical decline.
Your mental decline. So that's what we call retirement drift. And you really need to understand what that is before it consumes you. Up until now, people would just hide behind smiles and say, I'm fine, whatever, I'm busy. We know a lot of people, even down here on Marco, who said, oh, yeah, everything's fine, I'm busy. They watch TV all day long. And they're embarrassed to say that, so they don't.
Right.
But we know, because when you ask a few more questions, that comes out. If you're feeling a little bit consumed by retirement drift, you need to be honest with yourself and your spouse and your friends and try to get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Leave us a comment down below. Have you found a new purpose post-career, and what is it? Let us know and share it with the rest of the group, the other 95,000 subscribers.
Right. The other thing you can do is start thinking about success beyond 60 as more than your career. Redefine that. So if you think that you have to work to 75 because that's all you know how to do, because that makes you successful, 60, 65, think, you know what? I'm going to rethink what success really means.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you find yourself in this discovery time, really dedicate that to be your powerful time. Don't make it your indecisive time. Make it your decisive times. Make it where you are incentivized to get your schedule together, to get your routine together, to close different chapters and open new chapters, but really take charge of this discovery time.
Yeah, instead of focusing on going to work, poor Harry, instead of focusing on going to work and reading legal briefs.
I don't think his name was Harry.
Well, I don't know. I'll find out when I look him up. But instead of focusing on that in this stage of life, focus on your health, your happiness, your joy, your mental wellness, your physical wellness. That's a different way to look at success in this stage of life.